From Rixie, this is the Daily Rec. I'm Steve Skeels, host of Rixie's game news podcast, Debuff. My video game recommendation today is Cosmic Star Heroine. I first heard about this game around the time of its release 3 years ago, but I hadn't picked it up just because, as always, I've got a few games I was playing at the time. Well, now it regularly goes on sale for a few dollars, so I finally got it on a whim recently. This is a turn-based RPG set in a futuristic sci-fi kind of cyberpunky world, and while that sounds pretty generic, I really haven't played anything quite like this in a while. You follow Alyssa, the protagonist, who is a member of the Agency of Peace and Intelligence, or just API they call it. Early on, she uncovers a plot to use a mind-controlling device on humanity, and along with her friends and many others she encounters along the way, you take her on a mission to get a counter device and put a stop to the plan. While I do like the story, I think the combat system is really my favorite part of the game, and there's a few parts to it that I think are really unique. First is just the abilities. Barring a few, each ability is used once and then must be regenerated by defending for a turn. And you have items and special abilities tied to your shields, and those can only be used once per battle. I like this because you don't have to worry about MP or anything. You just make sure that you use the abilities at the right time so that you don't miss a big opportunity. But the second component to it is the style system. Every character and enemy gains styles as they use abilities, and they become stronger the more style you have. So if you let battles drag out for too long, you might start doing more damage, but the enemies start hitting really hard. The third part I like about it is the hyper bar, where each character can enter hyper mode after a certain amount of turns, which will vary depending on the character. But when in hyper mode, they do a lot more damage. So it's key to utilize this to set up big attacks, maybe buff them for that turn, just things like that to make sure you get the most damage you can. And I think the last thing that I really like is that at the end of every battle, you regain all your health and skills and items, so you never have to worry about whether you can make it through the next battle or not. It keeps up the pace really well, and this also means that the developers were able to design every battle with the mindset that you should be at full power, so you pretty much always need to go all out. The game itself isn't really that long. HowLongToBeat.com gives it 11.5 to 17 hours depending on how much of the side content you do, and that lines up pretty close with my playtime. And I'd recommend Cosmic Star Heroine to anyone who's a fan of turn-based RPGs and wants something a little different, especially if you like to make synergies between characters and hit for big damage. It's currently available on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PlayStation Vita, and links to purchase will be in the show notes. This has been your Daily Rec. I'll see you tomorrow.